Now, in this video of debunking prejudices placed against God, I'm actually going to be debunking one of my own beliefs prior to me finding God. Now, that prejudice is when I was looking into religion and seeing that there were over 300 different versions and forms of religion, I thought to myself, if there's 300 different versions, everybody's claiming theirs is true, there's no way that any of them could be true. Now, getting into how I'm going to debunk this, I want to also bring up monotheism and polytheism beliefs. Now, as we look today, many theists will look at polytheism and just reduce the accounts of our ancient ancestors into they were just misperceiving natural phenomena. Now, let's get into this. Now, if God had sent prophets all around the world to help human civilization get restarted, what we need to consider is if he was allowing angels free will, that they would have been adding their own flavors to the direction and development of the human civilizations that they were assisting get restarted. Now, through Satan's free will and his decision to go against God, what we know can also be true is that some of these angels who had been assisting humans may also develop the desire to be worshipped as well. So actually, it's very practical to believe that some of these angels and or prophets would be applying human flaw, error, and bias to their teachings that stuck with the humans that they were leading. Now, furthermore, what we need to consider as another explanation is if you were just a regular caveman human and superior beings came down and were assisting you get restarted in civilization, you may just look at all of them, and because your educational foundation was so low, you would just reduce all of them to gods because they were clearly superior to what you as a human were capable of. Based on the ancient humans' educational foundation being so low, their accounts with superior beings, of course, would sound magical and that of fairy tale to the modern human. But what we need to dissect further is that ancient civilizations, prominent ones, the Greeks, the Egyptians, the Sumerians, all credit superior beings for giving them moral law. And when you dissect them, at first they could appear to be very different, but getting to their fundamental cores, they all talk about treating others how you want to be treated, recognizing the cause and effect nature of the world, and being self-aware and accountable to it. Now, for me, to just take the accounts of these ancient civilizations, the Greeks, who created the first democracy, the Sumerians, credited for the first written language, and then the Egyptians, who had built the pyramids, to reduce their accounts and to say they were smart enough to do all these things on their own, but then not to believe their personal accounts of seeing and observing a superior being, and yes, maybe not being able to articulate exactly what it is, again, because of their low educational foundation, to just summarily dismiss that they were just observing natural phenomena and weren't smart enough to decipher the differences between an entity, a living being, and Mother Nature. I just cannot believe that they were too dumb to distinctly understand the differences between the two. Now, this is an easy explanation as to why so many differences and so many different religions have risen in ages where those humans didn't have paper to begin with to write their experiences and accounts down. Those accounts at first, for the most part, had to be handed down through verbal communication. Thank you for joining, and stay tuned for more prejudices that will be debunked against the belief of God.